Emmanuel Abajiafe is here with the business news. Hello, Emmanuel.
Hi, good evening, Izzy.
Yeah, good evening.
All right, thank you very much, and thanks for joining me on Business Tonight. President of the Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Nana P.J. DUNCAN I, has hinted of establishing a credit union to deal with the age-old challenge of access to credit faced by SMEs. Speaking at a capacity-building workshop for entrepreneurs, he explained the move is to strengthen SMEs' ability to remain vibrant in the Africa.
Over the years, getting access to adequate finance to expand has become the bane of SME development in Ghana. The Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry says it has resolved to establish a credit union aimed at providing credit access to SMEs under flexible payment terms and low interest rates. President of the Chamber disclosed this to Joy Business at the sidelines of a capacity building workshop by the Chamber.
I want to come out with a plan B. And the plan B that we want to do is to have a credit union. With a credit union, once the person becomes a member and is able to contribute regularly, the person qualifies for a specific amount. And with that also, the interest rate is normally on the lower side. And if it's like that, then we think it will help the chamber and it will help the private sector to do businesses and get profits that's accrue for them.
A cross-section of entrepreneurs and business heads received business advisory services on best ways to establish a business, hire workers, and access finance. Dr. Isaac Odro Amoako is senior lecturer and leader of the Small Business and Entrepreneurship Research Group at the Liverpool John Moores University.
I think entrepreneurs themselves will tell you that they lack access to finance as the most critical factor that they always struggle with. But from my own perspective and my own experience, I think, yes, access to finance is a key limitation, but also access to knowledge and skills in managing businesses, to me, is also a key factor that most entrepreneurs lack.
Small and medium-sized enterprises have been the Ghana's economic and social development for the past decades. They continue to be a major driving force for business development, employment creation, production of goods and services, as well as internal income generation in the country.
Now, the total amount of currency into circulation for last year witnessed some significant increase. The Bank of Ghana's data showed that it stood at 20.4 billion Ghana cedis. There's more on this and the amount spent on printing currencies last year in the following Business Desk report.
20.4 billion cedis in circulation represented a marginal increase from the 20.2 billion cedis that was put out in 2017. However, if you take out what was issued separately to commercial banks that might not be in circulation, then the amount may have been reduced to 13.5 billion cedis. So let's give a breakdown of the various notes and coins issued for circulation by the Bank of Ghana. The 50 cedi notes had about 4.6 billion cedi notes in value in circulation. The 20 cedi note was also 4.5 billion cedis. 2.5 billion cedis in circulation last year was denominated in the 10 cedi notes. The value of the 5 cedi notes in circulation was pegged at 1.2 billion cedis, while the 1 cedi note was 27 million cedis. The 50 peso coins in circulation was about 69 million cedis. According to the 2018 financial statement of the Bank of Ghana, the regulator also spent 153 billion cedis as total cost in printing new currencies. 2 million cedis covered agency fees, while the actual cost of printing was put at 146 million cedis. 4.8 million cedis was spent on other charges. Compared to last year, the amount witnessed some reduction. It reduced from 230 million cedis to 146 million cedis, representing about 33% in reduction. It is not clear whether some measures instituted by the Bank of Ghana to enhance the durability of the existing notes might have contributed to this or other strategies.
And in other business news tonight, President and CEO of the WHITAKER Group of Companies, ROSA WHITAKER Duncan Williams, says Ghana's decision to host the Continental Free Trade Secretariat means so much for the country. She was speaking at a dinner organized for some African Americans as part of activities marking the year of return Fred Duhu was there and has filed this report.
The dinner was organized by the National Association of Advanced Colored People in Accra to honor a section of African Americans who visited Ghana as part of activities marking the year of return. President and CEO of the WHITAKER Group, Mrs. ROSA WHITAKER Duncan Williams, in an interview stated that it means so much for Ghana to host the African Continental Free Trade Secretariat.
Anybody who's been in business understands the business cycle and understands change. And sometimes change can be turbulent, but if at the end of the day, if it's undergirded by a strong vision, it'll work. And I don't think you'll talk to people who are fearful, especially in the African American community. We are a very resilient people. We have people who've been through a lot. So when you meet African American business leaders, you should know that they've had to do a lot to get there. And I think that the Continental African Free Trade Agreement is one of the most significant things to happen on the continent this century. Because one of the reasons why we're dealing with such poverty, lack of trade, lack of infrastructure, is the balkanization of the region.
Mrs. Duncan Williams said the coming of African Americans into the country is a potential avenue for investment in the continent, as the net worth of their population amounts to over $1.3 trillion.
If the African American community, and if it were a country, it would be the 46th largest economy in the world. And you're talking about a group of people who very much want to be connected to the homeland. You're talking about a group of people with a spending power of $1.3 trillion. So just can imagine if we can really construct those bridges and have them connect here in terms of spending and business. These are mutually beneficial partnerships.
Former Trade Minister Dr. Ekospio Gabra expressed optimism that the Year of Return initiative, though not new to Ghana, will boost the economy, as these foreign investors are likely to be attracted by initiatives like the One District One Factory program.
We are looking for high quality people, whether African Americans or others, who would bring in their money, their knowledge, their technology, and their skills to help develop our country. So if they come and they want to join the One District One Factory business, or they know how to dig dams, to have one village, one dam, or any other things that the government is promoting, and they can become part of it, I think that will be very helpful to the economy of this country. They can create jobs and not just link with us culturally and socially and through music and entertainment, but they can also bring to bear some of the American dollars that I think Ghanaians need to generate employment.
Some participants also shared their thoughts with Joy Business.
We want to find out the education systems and try to support our kids at schools and going on to university, and to give them more opportunities to have to learn about things, and to, like I said, bridge the gap between the U.S. and our African nations.
Fred Duhu's report for Joy Business.
That's all in business for now. I'll be back with more business in the second segment after 8 p.m.